you a couple of original compositions. We're going to work through it, and I'm going to show you how you can get a Latin feel into your acoustic guitar chops. And this is really a great addition, I think, to your vocabulary of licks, and also in general, just the feel of the Latin music is very provocative, really sexy and cool, and swings in a special way. So I hope you enjoy this section. So what I'm doing there is I'm just doing a B minor to an E minor to an F sharp major, okay? Very Latin sound. All right, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Latin feel. That little piece that I wrote is called When Did We Fall Out of Love? And that really is written in the style. I went to Latin America a couple of times, and the music really rubbed off on me when I was down there. So I like the way it swings, the way it feels, very lyrical. And I did some partials. I did a little... very cool Latin flavor, and then I had kind of a pinch thing going where I was simpatico, you know. So that really differentiates between the American feel, you know, the folk thing and the blues thing. The Latin feel is very much more, it has a different kind of swing to it and a really seductive sound to it. And I love it for that reason. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about chords and chord progressions and how they relate to songwriting. I'm a composer, I'm a songwriter, that's what I do. As much as I love the blues, there's so much more kind of music out there, and I know a lot of you guys and gals out there are songwriters and you want to express yourself. So I'm gonna play you for an example in the key of D, some different places you can go. And this is, you know, sort of in the idiom of basic songwriting, whether it's a rock or you know, kind of a alternative rock style, whatever. I'm going to show you a couple ways you can move around the fretboard in the first position especially, and then I'll move up and I want to talk a little bit about partials and stuff like that. So in the key of D, this is your 1 chord, okay? Your 4 chord is a G, and your 5 chord is an A, and your relative minor is a B minor. So there's lots of more chords you can go to, but I think D is a good place to start. And I'm just going to sort of strum around and just kind of improv and show you all the different choices you can have, whether you're songwriting or you're just jamming around. And I'll shout out the chords as I go, and you'll see the different feels of where you can go. So there's your D. Here's what a G sounds like. And of course your 5 is an A. Back to your G. And then it resolves back to the 1, the D. 4, and to do a walk down, okay? Now this is something you'll hear in a lot of songs. You're going to a 7 chord, which is your C. Then half step to the B. Back to the D. So that's an interesting change. Okay, now we're going to go to E minor. Sounds like a bridge. G. Back to the 1. Now the walk down. This is what it sounds like if you go to the A chord. Feel that build up? Stay there for a while. There's a little Springsteen sound to it. Back to your 1. B minor. A, G. Let's do that one more time. And you want to resolve on your 5 chord. Back to your 1 chord. Now let's do a walk down. We're going to do something a little bit different here. We're going to walk down, and we're going to keep going. Sounds like an ending, doesn't it? So basically what we're doing there is we're moving around the neck, trying different chords, different moods, different shades. And the reason I'm going to all these different chords is because if you're writing a song or you're composing a piece of music for whatever reason, you want it to move. You want to move through changes. You want it to emotionally have highs and lows. So you can hear where if you go from a D, the natural fit is to go to the G. Right? You're telling a story. Singing a love song, whatever it is. And then when you want to resolve that, you want to go to your A chord. Tension. See, I'm basically going from an A to a D. Maybe leave some space and back to a D. And then a walk down. And then a natural change here would be an E minor to a G. Okay, now I'm going to do something a little bit interesting. I'm going to go up to an F. Back to D. Same positioning, same configuration. And then back to the C. Sort of like a Zepp style here. Now if you want to get a little even more interesting with that, just drop your E down to D. Now you got a big fat sound. This way. Now you can get a cool sound here too. So there's the key of D, some of the places you can go, some of the chords that go with D, and then also with the open D tuning. I like to use the different positions of D. They all have a different voice, right? Of course, you got your harmonic. You get that kind of U2 sound. There you go. I want to talk a little bit about in the key of D. I was doing some hybrid picking and some just normal picking with the pick. So I want to talk about what I was doing. We did a little climb from this D here. We went up to the F position. And back to D. So what I'm doing is I'm doing down, down, up, up. Okay, so I'm starting on my D string, and then I'm hitting my G string, and then I'm coming with an upstroke with the pick on the E string and the B string. And you see the position I'm in here, just like a D, okay? We move up to the 5th fret, and you get the D, the F. Now you can still work that bottom D. So, get a little mood going. See how I'm muffling with my right hand? Go chromatically down. Very fat sound, kind of that little zeppy kind of sound. Now if you want to move around, it's going to change the tone again. That's a very full sound. Stretching up to that D. If you want to get a Celtic sound going, in case you're Irish or you want to be Irish, that's a Celtic sound. So D is really good for that, especially drop D, because you can get all kinds of places. Do some pretty stuff. So I'm just working off a D here, see? 2 fingers on the G and the B string. But the nice thing about having that low D in there, especially if you're playing with or without a pick, if you're playing an acoustic solo, you want to go up to your G. It's all kinds of stuff you can do with the drop D tuning. You can also get into kind of, like I said, more of a rock and roll thing. Country thing. Okay, I'm going to show you a little walk down here. You're in the key of D. So you get the... That always works. And then the key of G, you'd be back to D, and then an A, and then in G. And this is something you can work on many different ways. So in context, it would be G, A, G, the other thing that we'll get to later is that more of a soul sound. We haven't really talked a lot about soul music, but in the key of D, there's a sort of a Memphis style of playing, and it actually speaks a lot to the Jimi Hendrix style later. It's sort of this kind of thing. There's a little soul guitar for you, soul acoustic. Okay, right now I'd like to talk a little bit about the use of a capo. Here's a capo, and I've got it on my 5th fret right now. There's a couple of functions that this serves. One is if you're a singer-songwriter and you're wanting to play in a different key, but you want to keep the same positioning going, like an open G or a D, a capo comes in really handy because you can sing in a key that's appropriate for your voice. I use it quite a bit. People like Joni Mitchell, James Taylor, Dave Matthews, everybody uses capos because you still get that good open sound, but in a different key. The other function is you might want to, if you're playing an instrumental song, which I'm about to play for you, and this one is called Maximus Kitty Boots. It's one I wrote for my cats. This one, it shows the sound of a capo as opposed to playing in first position, which is much lower. And you'll hear that it really has a certain chime to it, a certain flavor to it. And it really spices things up. So here's Maximus Kitty Boots for your listening pleasure, and I hope you enjoy it. This is in the finger style.